Hello everyone, it is Erin Floto, and today I am here doing my April reading journal setup. So this is available on my website. It is the rainy day, I believe, reading journal kit, and I am pairing it with some washi. This is the washi that I am keeping consistent throughout my reading journal, so you'll have seen this in all of my reading journal setups so far. I do bring in some other washis occasionally, but I really wanted the consistent look between all of the months, so I decided to keep the same washi, and I got my washi on Amazon, and I will have that linked down below. So I am using the Archer and Olive stamps today for the alphabet, capital letters, non-serif set of Archer and Olives, and I am using that with Distress Oxide ink. And just to put in the word April here, I do really like how the cover pages are very consistent between all of the monthly setups that I've been doing so far. So I am extremely thrilled with how this ended up turning out. So I mentioned I am setting up for April, but if you are interested in seeing my February review and my thoughts on the books and things like that, that is going to be at the end of this video, so definitely check that out. And I have another reading challenge coming up in April, and I have this digital download available. I will have that linked in the description down below. That sounded very much like a flight attendant, and I apologize for that. But basically, what I am doing in these challenges is I pick 4 different aspects, and you can use as many books or as few books that you want to make it through the challenge. And I have struggled with book clubs in the past, so I did try to keep this like very broad so that you can pick books that you want to read. If you know what kind of books you like, I don't see any problem with reading those types of books. So on the list for April is a book about the environment, a book from another country, a book that won a Goodreads Choice Award in 2022, and a book that you want to reread. So I hope that you are able to find all of those books. Let me go ahead and share with you the books that I'm going to be doing for April, just in case you are interested. So for the book about the environment, I am going to be reading One Green Thing from Heather White. For my book from another country and a book that won a Goodreads Choice Award in 2022, I'm going to read The Maid, which was the mystery and thriller winner from Goodreads 2022. And then I have not decided the book that I want to reread yet. I just really don't know. I have so many new books that I'm not really sure why I put this on the list, but that's what I did, so I'll figure it out a little bit closer to April. So anyways, this was my April setup, and let's go ahead and go to Past Me, where I reviewed my February books. So before we get into April's, let's go ahead and check back in with February and see how these spreads turned out. So I did have my reading challenge. I put the books read. The Mindful Day I am still working on. I did not finish it. I mentioned during my March plan with reading journal setup that I didn't like this page in January, so I didn't end up touching it in February. And I did not continue it into March. You can see I kind of skipped right over it. And I will do the same for April. And here are my statistics for the month. So I read 5 books with a total of 1,599 pages. My average star rating was 3.95 stars, and my total days read was 20. It is kind of hard to tell the total days read because sometimes I do audiobooks, sometimes I read physical books, sometimes I read Kindle books. So it's a little bit difficult without this tracker to know what days I read and what days I didn't, because I don't check into this notebook every day. I kind of wait till the end of the month. So that part's a little bit difficult, and I may not include that in the future. And I honestly do not go back to my annual pages and put in my days read either. So my book stats, the author, I read 100% female authors this month. The origin, 80% of the authors were from the United States, 20% from Australia. Fiction versus nonfiction, I read 100% fiction books this month. And the number of pages in each book, 60% were under 300 pages and 40% were between 300 and 500 pages. And then I also included a monthly review here, and I do have some pages to go back and review certain books, like some standouts. I did mention in here that I did not finish The Mindful Day, and the two books that I basically reviewed for this month were Geekerella and Glass Sword. So it's a little bit difficult. The other books that I read are those little novellas. So I did put down a monthly review for that. And let's go ahead and go back to the book ratings. And I want to put in the book ratings that I have for this one. I actually did make... And I'm actually going to go ahead and do that now. I do have new stickers that I released as digitals in my shop for these stars. So let me go ahead and put them in here. I'm too lazy to do this right now. And you can see that they fit in the boxes. I'll go back over and I'll fill them in beforehand. But let's just go in. I think for Glass Sword, I gave it 3.5. I actually put that down. Yeah, I gave it 3.5 stars. The reason for giving it 3.5 stars is, one, it was not good as the first book. And two, it just felt slow. It felt like the same thing over and over again. For the first, I don't know, 75% of the book. And then it got interesting. Versus the first book where I felt interested from the start. Geekerella, I think I gave 4.25 stars, if I remember. It was a cute little book. And honestly, I know it's the basic Cinderella plot. I understand that. But that's kind of the purpose of, like, marketing it that way, is I know what to expect. So I'm not mad that the plot is the same as every other Cinderella plot, right? I'm interested in the nuances of the plot and what they did to make it fun. And so I liked it because it was geeky, and I love geeky things. So anyways, those are my 2-star ratings. For March, I did actually decide on the books that I'm reading. So that's the other check-in I will do. So I'm reading The Gold Letter, for a book with gold in the title. The Fortunes of Jaded Women, for the green cover. I don't know what happened here. My brain must have farted while I was typing this out, but this is obviously not the correct acronym, so I will go in and fix that file. And then for book by an Irish author, I did decide on, it's like a series of essays from I think Emily Pine is the writer of that one. So I have not added that back in. But Boyfriend Material is the one that I am reading from a book by the LGBTQ plus community. So I have to go in and add that book read also.